Before you head out, make sure you have all the important equipment. Haste makes waste. Hello?
Jan? What a relief. We thought we'd lost you.
Yeah, so did I. The base got caught in a huge sandstorm. And I lost part of my crew.
What? Your altars? How could you let that happen?
I guess I failed to make them feel safe enough. They were so uneasy about their future, and that business with Tabula Rasa didn't help. Apparently, they thought they'd be better off in that cold, hostile desert than in my base.
You mean they ran away? And they're exposed to radiation?
They took the exploration vehicle and some supplies.
Tell me not all of them left?
No. Why?
The ship is close, Jan. You have to be ready for the arrival of the rescue team.
Ready? How?
They can't find out about your altars.
What? But didn't you say that you'd handle everything? And that nobody will care as long as I bring back Rapidium?
They might not care how you got the Rapidium, but confronted with your altars, they will have to react. The board will not tolerate anything that could cast even the slightest shadow on the legitimacy of this operation. And the rescue team is on their leash. Do I have to spell it out to you? They will have your altars killed.
What? Killed? What kind of a rescue team are they?
They're a special ops unit. Military men.
You could have told me earlier.
Please, Jan. You always knew their primary mission was to escort the most precious cargo mankind has ever seen. Did you really expect them to arrive unarmed?
So you lied to me. That you'd prepare them.
I told you I'd test the waters, and that's what I did. But there is a lot of pressure on your success, Jan. A lot of anxiety amongst the top management. They can sense the vultures hovering around them, waiting for any sign of a slip-up. And they won't let them smell blood. They won't expose themselves.
So what exactly is your plan?
The rescue team will arrive shortly before sunrise. You have time until then to come up with a way to smuggle your altars on board. In the meantime, you need to keep collecting Rapidium.
Yeah, sure. Once we take off, what happens then?
You will all go into cryosleep, and as the ship approaches Earth, Lucas will take remote control over it and modify the coordinates. The ship will land in a secluded location I've been preparing.
And what about the crew?
They'll be in cryosleep during the landing. And by the time they wake up, we will be far away. I have a lab ready, and a guarantee of immunity from people who understand. I'm moving operations to a more science-friendly region, somewhere Ally Corp won't get to us. And, most importantly, where nobody will ever find your altars.
You're putting them in a lab?
I won't sugarcoat it. We've come too far together for that. If you wanted to hate me, I probably gave you enough reasons by now. Truth is, when I first heard about you, your situation, Well, I'd be lying if I said it all came together immediately. On the contrary, I didn't hope for much. An accidental castaway with no qualifications, all alone, burdened with such a responsible task. But when Lucas told me you did it, you created your altar and managed to convince him to cooperate with you, I couldn't help but fantasize about where this could go. Can you see? I've been waiting for something like this ever since they shut down Project Ela.
Yeah, about that. I heard some disturbing things about your experiments. Is it true your patients... well, that they lost their minds?
Of course. That was the whole point. They were losing their old dysfunctional identity to gain a new, sound one. Whoever told you this must have heard some scraps of information and didn't have a full understanding of what we were doing. Yes, they were unorthodox things, but it was always about making people better. Project Ela was my whole life, Jan. Why would I devote myself to something harmful?
You never stopped dreaming about reviving it.
You wouldn't be so surprised if you knew what we could achieve.
Lucas told me you wanted to help war veterans, patients with PTSD.
Yes, that was the initial scope. But we could have done so much more. But take, for example, the possibilities of re-socializing criminals by altering the experiences that led to their corruption. But why not go even further? Why should we limit ourselves to thinking only about altering the past? Why not be able to influence the future?
What? How?
The Tree of Life. You've seen yours, but it's just a projection, a rudimentary interface. Think about it. What if it was no interface, but an integrated part of the human mind, allowing us to live our lives exactly the way we should?
The way we should? What? You mean, make the right decisions?
Exactly. The human cognitive system enhanced in a way evolution failed to do in millions of years.
I tried to do something like that. Using your upgrade, I tried to alter myself into someone who always makes the right decisions.
And? What happened?
I realized it's more complicated than that. That what I thought were bad choices can objectively be good ones.
Exactly. This is where the real breakthrough should happen. We have to be able to define a choice as good or bad by an objective, quantum-calculated analysis of its outcome in an instant.
Wow. That sounds completely unrealistic.
I prefer the term difficult, but Rapidium can help make it so much easier. Imagine a world where nobody ever takes the wrong turn. Children are never harmed. There are no court misrulings because there is no crime. Greedy and corrupt individuals never come to power, and because of that, wars never break out. Can you see now why your success meant so much to me? Do you not understand that giving Rapidium away for any other purpose would mean robbing humanity of its biggest evolutionary leap since we crawled out of the primordial soup? Do you still think there is a better purpose for your altars than to contribute to all that?
I'll never give them away for experiments. No matter how grand your vision is.
I understand you've grown attached to them, and your impulse to protect them is touching. but I don't intend to harm them. All I'm asking is several weeks in a lab where I can run some tests on them, collect data, and prepare for the bigger leap.
And then what? You let them walk free?
You know I can't do that. It would be too risky for both of us and for them. But I could guarantee them a comfortable life. They would be hidden from the eyes of the world.
Imprisoned.
The only alternative for them is to be disposed of by the corporation, like waste. I think you need to take a breath. There's a lot to think about. How to smuggle your alters aboard that ship, for one. But first, you have to guide their navigator to your exact position. They'll need you to mark the spot with a beacon. Start with that, and then I trust you'll figure out what to do next.
Yeah, sure. By the way, I wasn't an accidental survivor.
What do you mean?
The quantum computer chose me. Seems I was the one who had the biggest chance of making it.
Well, doesn't that just prove my point? We are capable of so much more than we think, Jan. All we need to do is open the door and let that potential in. You'll hear from me again before the ship lands. Good luck, Jan.
Would you like me to address that?
stuff.
I'm done here. Should I do this now?
Those rocks, they're shaped like trees. What are they really? keeping busy, I hope.
Tire tracks. It must be the Tur vehicle. At least I know which way they went.
Maneuvering here must have been a nightmare.
Jan, we're running out of storage space, you know?
You again. Time to summon the rescue team. But they can't find out about my altars. What the hell should I do? I wish the technician were here. He'd probably have something to say. Maybe he'd just say I shouldn't hide them at all. Face the truth with my head held high. Why should we hide like some criminals? They should be licking our boots. It's a simple task. Think. You're supposed to be the one who can do it. I bet the scientist has an opinion on that. Quantum computer chose you to focus on mission objectives, not play games with the corporation. Hey, wait a minute. Mission objectives. We're supposed to bring back Rapidium. Huh. That might actually be it. That's what the rescue team will care about most. If there's anything they're not taking off without, it's their precious cargo. Yeah. That's it. I'll have to find a way to use Rapidium to smuggle the Altars back to Earth. Now, the details are gonna need refining, but I'm sure the scientists can help me with that. For now, brainstorm over. Let's light up this beacon. What the hell is that? Ah, shit. Pretty sure this was not supposed to happen. Please. Can't anything be normal on this goddamn planet? So, I have some bad news and some even worse news. Does that mean you finally talked to someone on Earth about us? Well, sort of, yes. It looks like they want me to keep you a secret from the rescue team. Smuggle you on board. Oh. And for what reason, if I may ask? Maxwell thinks they might kill you. You're just too much of a liability to the corporation. I'm sorry. But, I'm not sure we need to worry about that just yet, because that was the less bad news. The worst news is the rescue ship might end up not picking us up at all. What? I set up the beacon. But just as the light was going up in the air, suddenly something jammed it. As if there was, I don't know, an invisible barrier up in the sky. Are you sure you activated the beacon correctly? I don't think blaming me is gonna help much. I'm not blaming you. I'm trying to understand how an invisible barrier suddenly appeared in the sky. Well, we need to do something about it. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been in vain, and we'll end up fried down here. It's not just about the beacon. If light can't get out, then a ship won't get in either. Yes. Right. Let's stay cool. Give me a moment to study this thing. I was hoping you'd say that. I suppose in that case, the conversation about smuggling me on board should be postponed. Right. One problem at a time, huh? Yes. Let me research whatever this barrier is. First, you could use the time to look around the area, secure resources. We'll probably need them if we're to overcome yet another obstacle. Lucas, good to hear you.
Jan, you're going home. Isn't that exciting? How are the preparations going?
How should I put it? Your enthusiasm may be a little premature.
Oh? What's the problem this time?
Same old, same old. More obstacles. A barrier in the sky this time. I'm gonna have to destroy it if I want the rescue ship to land.
Damn. You're so close.
Yeah, but see, I've been thinking. Do I want it to land?
What? What's that supposed to mean? Of course you do.
Here's the thing. While my alters are worried they might not get back to Earth, I'm worried about what's gonna happen to them after they get back. Because I've learned some troubling things about Maxwell, Lucas. Are you aware that he wants to hijack the Rapidium for himself?
Maxwell has other allies now, a much more open-minded organization than Ally Corp. It's run by people who actually care about progress.
Tell me something. Do you believe everything Maxwell tells you?
What? What do you mean?
Lena. She recorded a message for me and she said she dug out some dirt about his patients losing their minds. Being unethically exploited.
Exploited?
If you could look me in the eye right now, would you swear that not a single person was mistreated in those experiments? Would you swear on your life, Lucas?
Well, there were some rumors at one point that a patient, that he was, well, a little unstable and he might have... But at his family's request, we buried his data. That's what Maxwell said.
So, it's true. Patient 313 really did exist.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Look, we were working with mentally disturbed people. Accidents happen, but Maxwell was just trying to help them.
Lucas, this is about my alters' lives.
It's a little late for doubts now, Jan. You have no choice but to trust Maxwell. If the corporation finds out about your alters, they'll get rid of them. There's no other option.
What if there was another option? You're a QC navigator, Lucas. Maxwell wants you to take control of the ship once it takes off. What if, assuming for a moment that I managed to get that rescue ship to land safely, what if I just asked you to dispatch us somewhere else? Somewhere they wouldn't find us.
What are you talking about, Jan? Hijacking a ship full of Rapidium? Are you crazy?
It's what you do anyway, isn't it? The question is, will you do it for Maxwell, or will you think for yourself?
I don't know, Jan. It's all very confusing. My first reaction is to say no. But I'm thinking of how much you've achieved by collecting all that Rapidium and all those conversations we had. You've grown to be some kind of, well, inspiration to me.
A friend.
Yeah, I don't use that word often, but yeah. I need to think this over, okay? I'm not sure about what part I want to play in all this. I guess I'm not used to playing a significant part in anything.
You should think more highly of yourself. You deserve more than to be taken for granted like that.
I'll think it over. I'll 7 out for now.
Looks promising. The light. Almost there. Is that a shelter? There you are. You okay? Huh? Seriously? That what you want to talk about? I thought I'd never see you again. You got some guts to follow us all the way down here. Don't you get it? The party's over. I got the impression you wanted me to find you. Oh yeah? And what gave you that impression? The light? Why else would you bother with it? It's not for the rescue ship, is it? I wouldn't have made it through the sandstorm without it. Yeah, well... I was pissed at you, but...
Leaving you out there to your death? I'm not that guy. You're going to die if you stay out here any longer. Anything's better than serving as lab-grown meat for Maxwell's experiments. You're right. It was a mistake to trust him. I learned some disturbing things about his project. To be honest, the man is starting to scare me too. Oh yeah? Tell that to Tabula Rasa. Your mistakes actually have consequences for others. Admitting to them won't take that back. So, you really want to stay out here? How do you intend to survive the sun? In the tour vehicle? Are you kidding me? That thing is good protection against radiation, but it won't withstand the sunrise. Only a proper shelter will. And this place provides the perfect terrain for one. So that's what you're building. Yeah. And it's no picnic, so why don't you get back to your base and just let me get on with it? Is there anything I can do? Yeah, let it go. Do you have enough food? That's none of your business. You don't have enough food. There's not enough of anything, okay? Are you happy? But I don't want your fucking help. Just go, okay? You're making things worse. Ah, another movie. This one was actually on my pile of shame.
I thought you'd like to know that I ran into a completely new kind of anomaly. First thing that came to my mind was that it's some sort of a prism distortion. Really? What gave you that thought? Well, it behaved as if the reality around me suddenly split up into many different fragments. Wise of you to bring it to me. Any observations on interaction? Well, it didn't seem to do anything specific to me physically. No radiation. But it sure was messing with my brain. Felt as if I was in several different places at once. In a way, you might have been. Huh? You mean? Remember how I told you that anomalies are places where our world intersects with the interworld? Well, what you're describing suggests a distortion in which it comes into contact with not one, but many proximity planes. Entering it is likely to evoke a sensation of being in several parallel realities at the same time. Calling it a prism is accurate, because it refracts your consciousness into many simultaneous states. Neat. Who needs altering, huh? Take it easy. It's just a sensation. You'd best not spend too much time inside them. Plus, I suppose it must make exploration very inconvenient. Can I destroy them like the others? It should be possible. You just need to locate all of its cores and take them down one by one. All right. Thanks for the tip. I found our rebellious party. They're alive. Looks like they have no bad intentions, just want to be left alone. What for? To die in that exploration vehicle? They're building a shelter. Oh, please, spare me the details. They should be putting those skills to use here, helping us, not making a sophisticated grave for themselves. Quitters. manage to find out more about the barrier?
I'm afraid I don't have good news. For a moment, I was hoping we could redirect the ship to another area, but it seems that won't be possible. What we've called the barrier is, in fact, a strong force-filled layer of interlapping distortions. A sort of prism entanglement.
So it's yet another anomaly. Okay, we have ways to deal with them, right? Do you know where it stems from?
You see, that's the problem. It seems to be everywhere. Covering the entire surface like a dome, or a layer of the atmosphere.
Wait, what? No, but are you trying to tell me it was here when I landed?
It must have been here the whole time, looming above us, invisible to the human eye. Fascinating. So was it the cause of your ship's malfunction? Could have been, yes.
So, they recklessly sent us to our deaths? This could have been avoided.
Hindsight is a luxury we all wish we had. I suggest we focus on what's ahead. I believe the nature of this gigantic prism distortion needs to be studied more.
But how? We can't fly.
Right. But we've made fragmentary observations on the surface, and I think we can still learn more. I've located 3 areas with particularly strong interference characteristics that match the electromagnetic fluctuations typical for this kind of distortion. They should be marked on your map. I want you to take a closer look at them and bring me more data.
location. Looks like some kind of root system. I'm getting some quite extraordinary readings from there. Sort of trunk-like structure growing upward. Upward, you say? Yes. I think I know how we could use that information. definitely something unusual here. Like a giant horizontal branch reaching somewhere. Good. Let me analyze the data properly. I think I'm starting to see something here. I know what you mean. They seem connected. Come back to the base and we'll talk more. Come and find me when you have a moment. So, what do you make of the data we collected?
Interesting. Very interesting. The three fragments of the integral apparently form a single structure.
Right. Yeah, it almost looked like it could be part of a gigantic tree of some sort.
A huge vertical framework on a proximity plane. It could be our way up.
A way up? How do you mean? For what?
Reaching the barrier and destroying it.
But I don't understand. It's not even there, physically.
And that is exactly the issue we will have to solve. What would you say if I told you we should look for a way to materialize that structure?
A way to materialize the integral? Knowing you, I'm pretty sure you already have one.
Of course I don't. It's not that simple, Jan. But I do have an initial plan. Based on all the data we've collected so far, I think I came up with a way to disintegrate this barrier. Fragmentize the prism entanglement. But it can't be done from down here. You're going to have to reach for the sky, and that structure seems to be the best way to get there.
But is that even possible? To make it physically accessible?
What if I told you Professor Frankov believed it was possible?
Really? Tell me more.
You see, Frankov devised a theoretical experiment in which he proved that if an electromagnetic field was powerful enough, it could pull a proximity plane closer to us. The force field would have to be extremely strong and the object no larger than a grain of sand. But according to his calculations, it could physically materialize.
Well, we're gonna need more than a grain of sand.
Don't forget, we have something that Frankov didn't. Rubidium. Oh. That's... bold. Bold. Dangerous. And necessary. So you really think you can do it? I know it sounds impossible, but if we pull this off, there's so much more to gain than just our survival. A scientific breakthrough. And we can play a leading role in it.
What do you want me to do?
The fragmenting device I told you about, I've drawn up a raw design for you to start building it. And I'll set to work on reconstructing Frankov's theory and finding a way to materialize that structure for us. It is possible. I simply know it.
things now. use this instead? Jan, we're running out of storage space, you know?
What the hell is this thing?
a custom-built rubidium-infused electromagnetic field generator. Normally, electromagnetic waves operate on a limited frequency spectrum, but with the extreme nature of rubidium particles, the possibilities become infinite. The frequency spectrum can be stretched so that our waves will be able to penetrate all potential landscapes and disturb their magnetic fields. In effect, pulling the proximity plane towards us, just like a magnet.
Really? It's that simple?
I prefer the word elegant, provided it works as expected. It would be much more reasonable to test this theory in a safer environment before putting it to such extreme use.
Well, we don't seem to have the luxury of testing anything in a safe environment. So I guess we'll just have to close our eyes and push the button.
Maybe your ignorance is a blessing in this case, because we don't have a choice. We are treading on thin ice here. Once activated, the module will start emitting an extremely powerful electromagnetic field affecting not only the outside world, but also inside the base. The effects are hard to predict, but it can be everything from instruments malfunctioning to the entire base being annihilated within minutes.
Sounds encouraging.
Once we turn this thing on and the internal structure materializes, you will need to act quickly. Climb it as fast as you can, penetrate the prism entanglement, place the fragmenting device there, and press start. While you're up there, I'll keep busy fighting to keep the base in one piece. And if there is anything I can tell you for sure, it's that I will not be able to hold the fort for long.
So, I only get one shot.
Exactly. Truth be told, in times like this, I really do wish we had a bigger crew.
No time for that. We can do it by ourselves.
As you wish, but we'll have to be flawlessly prepared. Battery packs, robust radiation protection, abundant repair kits on stock. There will be no time to resupply, no way for you to come back to the base mid-mission. And no time for me to take care of anything other than protecting the base from falling apart.
And here I was, thinking you'd give me a pep talk.
Well, you're getting cold facts instead. Here's one crucial point. It will be wisest to start in the morning. We don't know how long it will take you to get up there, and the last thing you'd want to encounter is night radiation on top of that structure.
What if you can't hold it up for as long as I need, and the whole thing dematerializes while I'm up there?
Like I said, you'll need to be fast, and we'll need to be strong.
Right.
When you're ready to start, go to the foot of the structure and call me on the radio. On your signal, I'll activate this beast, and we'll see what kind of hell we've unleashed.
The evacuation procedure of the Sigma base.
running out of repair kits?
Factors while planning the trip.
Jan, did you notice we're running out of repair kits?
no, but I brought help. You can't be dead. I was too late. All right, I'm ready. Let's get this party started.
It's not looking good down here. The base is under extreme pressure. Have a surge of electrostatic discharges. These units are unstable, but your battery might actually profit from that anomaly. Prism anomaly.
What? Come on! Not more enough!
The materializer, it's gonna give in. Launch the device, quick.
Yes! I made it. Here goes.
Get the hell out of there. It's going to disintegrate. You need to get down now.
No other way down. Holy shit! Talk about a close shave. Okay. Let's see how things are going back at the crib.
Welcome back. We did quite well, don't you think?
Functionality manual. Navigation.
Let's remember them for what they achieved. Cheers. I have news about the rebel base.
Yes?
I'm afraid I was too late. They're all dead. Well then, that's it, I suppose. Thank you for telling me. I can't shake off the feeling that I could have done more. Still in the what if phase. I genuinely thought you were past that. The only reasonable thing to do is to close that chapter and look ahead. You know that. You can be sure I won't be wallowing in grief.
even if I did have a faint hope I'd see that irritating smirk on the technician's face again. Only goes to show that hope is a man's worst enemy.
Yeah. Right.
The Saber evacuation button. The system.
I don't say it often, but
Okay, team. We made it. The rescue ship is gonna be able to land.
I have to say, all this time I was trying hard not to think about how much the odds were against us. But we beat them. We beat the odds. It's incredible.
But it's not over yet. There's two things we need to discuss. One, after talking to Maxwell, we've decided that it's better for your safety if the crew doesn't know you exist. So, you need to be smuggled on board that ship.
All right? And what about the other thing?
Okay, here comes problem number 2. I learned some disturbing things about Maxwell's experiments, and I'm not sure we can trust him to stick to his word and keep you safe from harm. Which means we might want to think of a way to take control of that ship ourselves. Guide it out of their reach, somewhere they can't find you. Once we land, we'd have to abandon the ship with the Rupidium on board. Allied Corp would find it eventually, but it will buy us time to get you to safety.
Interesting. You do know that the crew of that ship will probably be fully armed. Are you willing to confront a military unit?
I never said anything about fighting them. We need to be smart about this. Remember, they have no idea about your existence. We can use that to our advantage.
Correct. And we can also predict that they will have to enter the base to salvage any mission-critical documentation. That's the procedure, and they will have to follow it.
Okay, so maybe we could hide outside, wait until they enter the base, and lock them in somehow.
And?
What next?
Locking them inside the base and taking off without them would be a death sentence. But before they'd die, they'd have enough time to contact Earth and warn everybody. If we're really considering going to war with them, I'd say there's a much safer way to handle it.
Such as?
We could blow up the base with the rescue team inside. Explosives shouldn't be hard to prepare.
It's brutal, but it's either them or us. We shouldn't hold back, not now.
Of course, we could look for a non-violent option, one that would spare their lives.
What are you talking about?
We could let them board the ship without knowing that you're not alone, of course. But just before takeoff, you could simply use some kind of incapacitating agent on them, like a sleeping gas. Of course, you'd have to be prepared for it, devise some kind of upgrade to your suit so that the sleeping agent doesn't have any effect on you. A gas mask. But the biggest problem with that solution is that you'd have to be smart about deploying it. Sneak up to a ventilation shaft when no one is looking. There's no guarantee you'll have an opportunity to do that.
Okay, I get it. But we have to decide on something.
If you want my opinion, there's only one factor we need to consider while making this decision: the success of the mission.
I agree. Rupidium comes first.
Okay. Whatever you decide, right now we need to focus on the fundamentals. Let's say we dealt with the rescue team one way or another. What then?
We need to take control of that ship somehow.
Which will probably mean we'll have to craft an autopilot device, connect it to the onboard computer, and override the coordinates of our destination.
We still need to decide how to smuggle you on board.
I presume you already gave it some thought prior to this conversation? Yeah, I did. And I figured we should sneak you in with our most precious cargo. Rapidium. A Rapidium arc with a false bottom. That's what we should build. That's it. We need to create a fake Rapidium arc. A Trojan horse Rapidium arc. Yeah, I like it. That's settled. Do we have everything? Almost. Except the last detail. What do you mean? We managed to get on board, hijack the ship, steer it wherever we want. What next, Jan? You really thought this through? You said you'd get us to safety, buy us time to escape and hide, but what about you? Our disappearance might even be beneficial to the corporation. It could be convenient for them if we're gone and buried. But you, they'll be determined to hunt you down. They'll need to have a scapegoat, someone they can blame for losing their ship. And contrary to us, you're an existing person. You can be traced. You can be put on trial. Are you sure you want to do this? Suffer the consequences if they catch you? Well, I have to say, I hadn't thought about it that way. Thanks for making it even harder. Anytime. Well, we're not going to be able to brainstorm everything out, right? Some things are just out of our control. Well. Look who's gained a new outlook on reality. Let's just do what we do best. I'll activate the beacon, and then we get to work. Yes. No time to waste.
They'll make you come alive one day. They'll make you step inside to make you pay. So don't get stuck and fighting, my love. When you'll be watching me from far above. As long as they come, hold your balls to break on. Only when the day come, you can sail away, my child, my dear, my child, my love, my love. They'll take you far away, my king. They'll take you places you've never been. So don't get lost in thought, my ear. Wrapped in finest cloth and finest silk. As long as they come, hold your bones to break on. Only when the day come, you can sail away. My child, my love, my love.
When there's an issue we need to discuss, let's meet.
So, mission.
Hey, what's on your mind?
I have to say, I keep thinking about what we achieved, materializing the Integral and keeping it stable.
Yeah. What a stunt, huh?
It was much more than that. And it wouldn't be possible without what you did back there, with the quantum computer. You weren't afraid to change, and that let you become more confident with who you are. I'd like you to know that ever since we got out of the sandstorm, something's been preoccupying me. Maybe earlier I'd have ignored it, since it's not directly related to our mission, but I started wondering, what if a change of approach could reveal new paths of reasoning before me? Just like it happened for you. I think I might want to open up to that.
Well, well, well. Glad I could finally teach you something. What's so interesting?
This planet, its close relationship to the Integral. It's one thing that everything here is connected to the presence of Rapidium, but I have a nagging sensation that there could be more to it.
Like what?
Oh, it's too early to speculate, but I have some theories, and I believe I could prove them. I observed some curious telemetry readings from a nearby area. I must say, they're intriguing. Like I said, it's pure speculation at this point, but, well, you may laugh if you want, but I feel that I should explore that place. Call it intuition.
Wow, that sounds baffling. You sure got me hooked.
Yes, I must admit a hunch is not something I would usually consider a strong argument. And I don't understand it myself, but this time, well, maybe there is something rational there, but I'm just not seeing it yet. What I'm trying to say is something mysterious is urging me to explore that place, and I do not want to resist it. I already plotted a route I could take, but I'm going to need something from you.
What's that?
Remember those superconductive polymers? Well, I'm going to need some more of them.
Sounds intriguing. You got my attention.
I'm not ready to discuss the details just yet, but I promise to share everything I found after I come back. The whole excursion shouldn't take me longer than a day.
Still, what if you got lost? The radiation will kill you if you don't come back on time.
I won't get lost. Don't worry. So, about those polymers?
Let me see what I can do.
Of course. Just please don't postpone it forever. I know this planet hasn't revealed all its secrets yet, and leaving without ever finding out what they are would haunt me forever. Or however long I get.
Lucas, it's good to hear from you.
Jan, Did you manage to get rid of that barrier?
Yeah, the ship's gonna be here anytime now. Have you thought about helping me out?
Yes. And... I'm sorry, but I can't do it. I can't turn on Maxwell like that.
Are you sure?
Yes. I don't think we should ever talk again.
Lucas. Lucas! Shit.
Saber evacuation function.
Should I do this now?
Okay, I've got those polymers you wanted for your little secret project.
You don't have to be so condescending. You either believe in it or not. Make up your mind.
Go and check it out then.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd understand.
There's an issue we need to discuss. Let's meet. Should I resolve this?
Hello. Hey. You're back. I thought I'd lost you. Relax. I'm not that easy to get rid of. But how is that possible? You were outside for the whole night in lethal radiation. How the hell did you survive? I found the planet's secret. I found it, Jan. And my word, was it worth it. Every day, every hour of this journey, each problem we struggled with to get here, I found our reward. Well, what is it? What did you find? Words can't describe it. You should see it for yourself. I've marked the coordinates on your map. Just go and check it out. I'll call you once you get there.
So, are you there?
Yeah. I am.
Not a bad sight, is it?
It's incredible. Is that water?
Yes. I analyzed it. I spent the whole night down in that valley. My radiation sensor didn't spike once. It's like a whole different ecosystem in that area. The atmosphere is different, and there's life in the water and around it. Not just plants, but microorganisms. And it's real. Not a proximity plane, not a potential landscape, but true material reality here and now.
But the sun, doesn't it burn everything on the surface?
That, my friend, is the most interesting part. Come back to the base and we'll talk. running out of storage space, you know?
Some discovery. An oasis? In the middle of this place? How the hell does it even exist?
It's as much a mystery to me as it is to you. What if this is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what Rapidium can do? I knew this planet held secrets, but I didn't expect it to host such marvels. It seems the vegetation in that valley gets annihilated every time the sun rises, but reappears shortly afterward to rapidly regrow again and breed life. Some people would say it's a miracle, but I've never believed in miracles. And neither did I. Yes, there has to be an explanation. I've gathered some clues. The modified composition of the atmosphere in that area, the lack of nighttime radiation, and I have a theory. I've called it the theory of continuity. Wow. You already thought of a catchy name. The main assumption is that with every alternation, the Oasis is reborn in a more progressed state than it was in the previous cycle. And that by somehow remembering the state in which it died, it starts over from that point, only to move forward. Constant evolution. A relay of life defying the obliterating forces of this star system. It might be expanding, who knows? Maybe one day it will cover the whole surface of this planet. And then what? I don't know. Progress even further?
Don't forget, its presence is clearly affecting the atmosphere. Maybe it's looking for a way to live forever? Or simply to bear some extraordinary fruit fertilized by an underground vein of rubidium. Imagine, Jan, what if its existence is somehow related to the veins we've seen in the interval? If only I could find out. See it with my very own eyes. Stay here to witness the upcoming cycle, and the next one, and then the next. You're not for real. I'm not? I don't know. If only I had known about the oasis earlier, when there was more time to prepare for the sunrise. No use speculating now.
I'm done here. Should I do this now?
Time to get comfortable in the sarcophagus. Yes, part of me regrets not being able to stay, but another part is filled with curiosity about what's to come. Once a scientist, always a scientist. Right. I almost forgot to say, you didn't make such a mess of this mission after all. I usually don't like to be wrong, but this time, I'm happy that I was wrong. About you. Thank you for sticking with me and sacrificing your calling. I'd never abandon the mission. You know that. Yeah. Good luck with the rescue team.
Jan, how are preparations? Is everything ready?
I'm ready.
And your altars? Are they well hidden?
Can I be sure you'll keep your part of the deal? I know about Patient 313, and many others, probably.
You do.
Is that how you're gonna treat my altars as well? And just erase their data if they happen to die?
No escaping my mistakes, it seems. Yes, I admit, unfortunate things happened. Very unfortunate. And I regret them deeply. I didn't want anyone to suffer. But it happened. I can't turn back the clock. All I can do, all we can do, is make sure this tragedy doesn't go to waste. We're so close to changing everything for the better. You can't let me down now.
You? What about my altars?
Your altars? I know you've grown close, but you need to think rationally. You know you can't give them a normal life on Earth. You'll never be able to do that. What you can do is make their existence really matter. Not just for you personally, but for a much bigger purpose. That's something we can only do together, you and me. Please just think about it. Don't let emotions get the better of you.
No. I can't agree with that. They're thinking, feeling individuals, not byproducts we can reutilize.
Is that what you thought when you were creating them? Or is it just something you want to believe so you can feel better about yourself? Deep down, you know what's the most reasonable thing to do, and safest for you.
For me?
Yes. You are aware that if we don't follow this through as planned, I will have to disclose everything to the corporation?
What? No, why?
Because it would be the truth. About you. Using my knowledge against my intentions, taking advantage of my trust to break the law and do something inexplicable for purely selfish reasons. You'd spend a lifetime in jail, be stigmatized by society, and as for your alters, well, like I said, they have no future anyway.
They'll never cooperate with you.
Well, they don't have to know. Whatever promises you made to them, remember, Jan, they are merely quantum simulations of your mind, draped in mortal human flesh. You owe them nothing. So I advise you to think this through very carefully. One false move, and you can destroy everything you've struggled for. Or you can come back safely and live your life as you want, a free man. All you need to do is simply smuggle your alters on board the ship as you were told to, and nothing else. Don't overthink it. Do the right thing.
So, this is it. Thanks for saving my life, and being a home for me, for us.
This is the Allied Corp Rescue Squadron at your service, sir.
Hello. You made it.
We made it. Hear that, guys? Praising us for getting here on time. You made it, Dolsky. And we couldn't believe the brief when we read it. How are you feeling, big guy?
What can I tell you? I'm running on empty.
No wonder, buddy. It's a miracle you're still alive. Operating that base, getting it to the other side of the planet, collecting Repedium, all on your freaking own. Yet we've been having heated debates about how you managed it.
I'll tell you more when we land. We'll have a lot of time to talk, right?
Yeah, brace yourself. You better prepare to be the talk of the town. Anyway, you must be beaten. Get that ready ass of yours on the ship while we run a final checkup on that CB unit. All right, boys and girls. Let's go retrieve some Allied Corp assets. Okay, let's get that Repedium loaded first.
On it, sir. Scanning for contamination. Hey, there's something strange about this one. It's heavier, and the bioscanner readings,
information?
I don't know. Organic traces.
Dusky, did you have a cat that climbed into a Rapidium mark or anything?
What are you talking about? That's impossible.
Well, we got something in here. Any explanation you can give me?
Sorry, but no idea.
Seriously? The readings show that there's signs of life inside this crate. And it's considerably heavier than the other ones. We can't just ignore it. You might be a hero, Dosky, but you need to cooperate.
I don't think I have to explain myself to you. I've done my job, Commander. Now it's time you do yours. If there's anything wrong with that Ark, I'm sure Ally Corp experts on the ground can take care of it. But everything I've collected must be brought back to Earth.
Okay, Dosky. You win. But whatever's in there, that's on you.
What do we do with the readings, sir? You want me to report them?
We'll do that once we're airborne. Just make sure those containers are sealed tight. We'll get a proper checkup when we land. We gotta clear the base and get out of here. On the double now.
There's nothing.
That's a lot of personal stuff for one guy. Okay, let's focus on more important assets than Dosky's over. We ain't got all day.
Yes, sir. Head into the research lab and we should be done.
You set up the research lab, huh? What a guy.
Come on.
Quantum core secured.
All good on our side, too.
Come on.
All right, let's get the hell out of here before we get fried.
Oh, please. Hurry up. Thank you.
How did I end up here? Was this path just a random sequence of events? Now I know that there's always another way. I've made my choices. Wherever I go, they will be a part of me.
Now on to unrest in the capital. Expect roadblocks after another street battle broke out over a warehouse of food supplies. It was the third incident of this kind in the last month, with the total number of casualties estimated to exceed 200. In reaction to the escalation of violence, activists from People Against Hunger have been protesting on the streets, urging governments and subsidized corporations to speed up investments in developing rubidium-grown crops. But ever since AllyCorp announced the success of its rubidium mining mission, predicting a breakthrough in agriculture and biotechnology, not all experts have been optimistic about how big the impact of those developments could really be.
We don't know how much rubidium they really brought to Earth, but what we do know is that a long time might pass before they manage to bring back more. So, maybe instead of raising people's hopes and boosting share prices, what they should be investing in is securing reliable and abundant sources of rubidium in space.
More on that subject in our business segment right after the break.
Hello?
Hey, Jan, it's Sarah. Ready for court? The driver's on his way.
I've been stuck in this apartment for months. I'm excited to go anywhere. Even if it is my own trial.
Right. Just stick to the version we discussed, okay?
That version in which I'm just a clueless builder.
Correct. As expected, Maxwell is trying to pin it all on you. Hijacking the ship, conducting those branching experiments without informing him. We have to convince the court that it was exactly the other way around, that he made you do all those things. Are you ready to do that?
Of course. I was just doing as I was told.
Good. We have to use the conflict between him and AllyCorp to our advantage.
And the corporation is still on my side.
They'll never admit that they lost control of your mission.
So the strategy to put the blame on Maxwell
Is consulted with them, yes.
Damn. Why does it feel like I'm selling my soul?
Please, Jan, it's not the best time for moral dilemmas. Keep AllyCorp happy and they will have no interest in complicating your trial. They got rubidium, and they don't want anyone questioning the methods that were used to get it.
So, if I want to play along...
You need to make Maxwell look like a madman.
Maybe that's all he ever was. Okay. So, how did the morning hearings go?
Your mission controller testified, Lucas Pena. Not a good one for us, I'm afraid. He defended Maxwell and said that if it weren't for him, you'd never survive and bring back the rubidium. He undermined your integrity, claiming that instead of having the success of the mission at heart, you were, quote-unquote, focusing on your own interests.
My own interest? Man, that's so unfair and he knows it.
We're gonna need to deflect that one somehow.
So we're not talking full acquittal anymore.
Look, like I said, the corporation wants to keep your trial low-key. Play the dummy convincingly, and their lawyers promised me they'll find something to make Pena look bad.
Good. He's Maxwell's accomplice.
Right. Shouldn't be hard to incriminate him.
Anything else I should know?
I reached out to your ex-wife. She agreed to testify in your favor, and against Maxwell.
That's kind of her, but I'd really prefer to keep her out of this. Let her get on with her work.
Look, I understand that things haven't been so great between the two of you, but we need all the help we can get. Especially from the new head of Rubidium Technologies.
Do you think I could talk to her after the trial?
Technically, you could, but I'm afraid she's made it very clear that she'd prefer to stay away from, well, everything that concerns you.
Oh. I see.
Let's practice your testimony.
Yeah, no need to do that. My driver just arrived. I should go now.
The driver can wait. Are you absolutely sure you've got this? Your future depends on it.
I know. Don't worry. I'm ready to face it.
Growing up apart, we shared surprisingly common ground, feeling nothing more than regret, till the coin got flipped around.
Things never said in quantum state now won't remain unspoken. The clock is unwound, the choice is unsound, could now reopen. What if I gotta spend a day with you again? Of all the things that I regret, it's losing.